Center Mass with Rob and Silent J. Blowing
Get back there.
two vets, two different worlds, one badass show. Center Mass with Rob and Silent J. Blowing your mind away on the Vets Own Media Network.
There we go.
There we go. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. Once again, this is Center Mass with Rob and Silent J, your favorite Sunday night hangout. I'm Rob.
And I am Silent J.
And the world is falling apart, and the actors are rejoicing. So we got a special episode tonight. This is kind of last minute, but we realized that the SAG Awards are going on tonight, which is why it was so appropriately named. And so we're going to have our own little SAG Awards of sorts, and we'll see which one you like better. Joe, how do you feel? Do you ever watch? Have you ever seen the SAG Awards?
No, and I couldn't tell you the last time I even watched an award show, period. Like any of them. Oscars, Academy Awards, Billboard Awards, MTV, whatever else.
It is a
Tonys,
it's a funny
the Tonys.
thing.
I like women, so I can't watch the Tony Awards. Sorry, guys.
It's a funny thing here in LA when it comes time for any kind of award season. It helps a lot for a movie to win whatever, any award in anything, because it just helps kind of put it up there and basically gets a lot more viewers and helps whoever put the movie together get more backing or whatever they want for the next one. So, where I work right by downtown Beverly Hills is where my office is, and around that area, it's like Little Israel. It's like, the Jewish section of Los Angeles. And around other scattered parts like Burbank and, where the movie industry is really big, during this time of year and during the award seasons, you'll see these billboards for all kinds of movies. It's just a billboard of a movie that says, for your consideration. It's not an advertisement. It's not for, Joe Schmo, you and I to go buy a movie. It's because they're trying to influence the people that vote. Like SAG Awards is something where every member of SAG gets to vote on what their favorite stuff is. So they're trying to target all the different members of SAG that are driving around Los Angeles, the air quote actors that are on their way to go wait tables, just as well as the the actual Tom Hanks and Brad Pitts of the world. So it is pretty interesting because you have a tendency to see billboards for movies that you never saw, and some of these guys, like the Weinstein brothers, have an awful lot of money to put behind whatever movie they want to put behind. So it's funny to see just how many new billboards pop up around this time of year.
I couldn't. I'm writing notes. I couldn't imagine living in a town that's that superficial. I mean, you've had your fair share of superficial people in the past that are involved in acting. But just to be surrounded by them all, it would be like, ugh. I think I would rip my brain out of my pores of my face.
Well, the worst part is you got the two extremes, right? So you've got the people that have just moved here and they got the pie in the sky eyes, and they think they're just too cool for school. They got a big audition, or maybe they got to be an extra in some actual TV show or some movie or something like that. Not anymore because nothing's actually filmed here. But, whatever. They got some little thing that made them think they're hot stuff, and so they're just jerks because they think they're too cool for school, right? That's what they are. They get the A-lister attitude when they're not even on the Z-list yet. Unfortunately, that was the thing with my ex-wife, and that's why, I joke around when I tell people, if you're going to get with an actor, get with one that's already famous, or don't get with one at all. Because if you get one that's had any kind of mediocrity, they get the same inflated ego, and just good luck for you, because they got the ego but not the paycheck. And boy, that's a tough one to reconcile. On the other side, you have the people that, they moved here from Iowa. They were the lead in Shakespeare in the Park in their little town or in their high school production. And so they thought they were going to make it big in Hollywood. They moved out here, after a decade of bussing tables or parking cars or, low-budget porn or whatever it might be that they had to pay the bills. They just become the most angry, disillusioned people in the world. And that's what they're angry at. They have their dreams failed. They failed at their dreams, and unfortunately, this entire town is staffed by these people. That's all your waiters, all your bellboys, all your busboys, all your car parkers are all people that came out here, and they're either struggling actors and actresses or they're failed actors and actresses that couldn't even afford the bus ticket home. And so they just have this huge just level of hatred towards everyone else, because if you're not making it big, like, this town's expensive. This town is a really tough place to live, especially if you're trying to keep up with the Joneses in those circles and make believe that you're actually out there working. This place is rough, man. This place really is. And so
yeah, I couldn't imagine. Well, imagine the people that you go out there like, oh, the Shakespeare in the Park guy from Des Moines, Iowa, and wanted to be big. Would you really be able to go back to Des Moines and as a failure? I mean, not a failure. I guess if you don't meet your goals or whatever, I guess you could say failure. You failed. I'm not being harsh, but would you want to go back?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. That's the way that I am. Like
I'd keep waiting on tables. I'd be a bartender. Whatever. Yeah. Maybe you could get somebody really drunk and read your script.
Or just do something else. And that's another big misconception. So anybody listening or watching that has that dream where they think they're hot and they're just going to come out to LA on vacation and get noticed or get discovered, that doesn't really happen. Just to let you know, that doesn't really happen, right? So this town is full of beautiful, gorgeous-looking people. You're not one of them. Sorry, anybody. I don't care how hot you really are on the other side. You're not one of them. And that does not happen. It just does not happen. Like, there are many levels of auditions and casting calls and things like that happen for everything here. You just don't get... There are people that are verifiably some of the best-looking people I've ever seen that are very, very talented that can't get a manager or an agent just because managers and agents here they have onslaughts all day, every day of people trying to get in there. And it's just, sorry. There are a lot of people that have that, come out here without a plan, and they think they're just going to get in and get discovered.
That's why I think I would make it in Hollywood. I know that. I know I would. Listen, hear me out. I'm not good looking. I'm an ugly guy. I think I'm ugly. Whatever. I definitely have physical flaws, especially as opposed to Hollywood standards. I'm not a good looking guy. I have an average physique. I go to the gym, like 4 or 5 times a week, and it does shit. That's a good segue right there. But I'm funny. Here's the thing. Like you said, there's so many good-looking people. You can only have so many good-looking people in a movie or on a TV show. But there's always room for ugly. Whether, I don't care, whatever. I have low self-esteem. Dude, put me in a movie. Like, I'll be the token ugly guy. You could have every line directed towards me making fun of me. That's fine. I'll be getting paid. So I think I have a shot in Hollywood because I'm ugly.
Ugly people belong in movies and on TV, and they belong in movies and in TV in Britain. That's where they belong.
Hell yeah.
Britain embraces ugly people.
Yes. Well, they're all ugly. And I got the perfect teeth for England. What was that one? Barney Miller. You remember that show? That cop show back in the late 70s, early 80s? Name a good-looking person on that show. All ugly. Every single one of them. Good show.
Yeah. Pretty much any show from the 70s or 80s was like that. But you used the word failure earlier. When you say, would you go home if you were a failure? Would you be able to go back to Des Moines, Iowa, or whatever? And the hard reality is most people don't realize that. David Cross, the stand-up comedian, Mr. Show and Bob and David, has a really good bit where he talks about this, and he actually goes on a pretty long rant about it. But the cold, hard reality is that maybe one out of 500,000 people here make it. Like, I'd say 1 out of every 500,000 people that come here to become a big star actually make it. And by make it, I mean have a lot of money, like what you would consider a movie star lifestyle, because the movie star lifestyle is pretty expensive out here. There are a lot of people that are struggling actors that they might be in commercials a lot, they might be in, they've been extras in a lot of shows or guest stars or whatever, that they're barely paying the bills.
Well, you think the cost of living out there, then you think you have to have an agent, you have to have a lawyer, you have to have somebody do your taxes, You're gonna have the the Klingons in your life. You're gonna get sucked into that realm. So you're gonna be spending more than what you than what you're making. So yeah, I could definitely see like a bit person or a B type celeb really not making it. Money wise.
Yeah.
And you think what'd you say, like 1 out of 500,000? That's about right, because what is there? It's, what 15 million people in LA, somewhere around there.
I don't know.
Somewhere.
Too
I
damn
mean,
many.
I mean,
I had
well,
rush hour traffic tonight. I hit rush hour traffic tonight.
I saw
so I'm
that. You know what? I drove across town, and you know how long it took me? A few minutes. Because there's nobody out at night when it's cold on a Sunday night in Buffalo, on the west coast of New York. There's no reason to be outside.
Smart people.
So yeah, there's about 30 really big name celebrities. Yeah, that goes in, one per 500,000. If there's 50 million, then you figure the undocumented. That's like the other 10 people that are so in Hollywood. So,
Yeah. Well, and then there are other people that you see that you're just like, that person is dead ugly and can't act. Like, how in the world do they keep getting spots? The one, every director and every producer has like their crew of people. There was that Boogie Nights crew of people that were all together, and I can't remember the name of any of them. But there's that Hispanic guy that was just ugly as sin and can't act, couldn't even deliver his lines.
Yeah.
And he was in Boogie Nights, he was in Traffic, he was in a bunch of big movies.
Yeah, he was in
John
Waiting.
C. Riley.
Yep.
He's ugly as sin, and he can't act to save his life either.
Yeah. See, because you need.
There's some people out there that are just,
Because you need that. You need that. Here's the thing. Why your typical stand-up comic is not a good-looking person, but they're really funny, and they're realistic when it comes to life. And look who really does a lot of crossover stuff into acting is stand-up comics. So
yeah.
Well,
and I have a lot of respect for them. Natalie and I had this conversation / argument last night. Because I know I have a lot of hate in my heart for actors right now, right? Just especially, you made a joke about Chinese actors especially. I just, can't, I don't know. I can't support that. But a big reason that I really cannot support this, people following their dream of acting, I have a hard time with that. When the numbers are stacked against you so bad, that we have people, that graduated from high school, and because of reality TV and because of all this, their dream is to come out here. They think they're going to be a star. They think they're going to be a millionaire. You see people on reality TV, they're talentless, they're unintelligent, they're idiots.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have these people that graduate high school, and they forego getting an education or doing anything in the world, and they come out here to have their dreams shattered. And in all reality, they got about a 1 out of 500,000 chance that your dreams are probably going to get shattered. And they work and work and work, but they're striving towards being nothing more than a vessel, right? Like, acting doesn't create anything. This is what really gets me. Acting doesn't really create anything. Somebody else writes the words that you say. Somebody else tells you how to say the words that you say. Somebody else puts the whole production together. Somebody tells you what clothes to wear. Somebody does your hair. All you are is a good-looking vessel delivering somebody else's content. Now, and this is where we got into this argument, because I actually do have respect for like stand-up comics like Louis C.K. that write their own material,
mm-hmm.
or people that actually write, act, and direct the movie. Yeah, kudos to those guys, because they're doing an awful lot. But like, to have somebody dedicate their entire life to just being nothing more than an empty vessel, I think that's where I don't like, because if it was a part-time thing, maybe, but dedicating your entire life to just reciting somebody else's work. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
And that's the thing. Like, you get the whole SAG award thing. It's basically the industry patting themselves on the back. It's like, oh my, really? It's that is what I can't stand. I mean, it's even worse than like the Oscars and stuff that have their own like little secret meeting. It's like, this is fully well known that you idiots voted for that idiot.
Right.
And that's the reason why I want to work behind the scenes. Ultimately, I want to be a producer and writer, director. I want to do documentary work, because I want my work from start to finish. I want to be in control of it, and I don't want actors or actresses in the way. What the work I want to do, I want real people. Not like reality TV, not real fake people, but real people. Like you've seen when you see a good documentary, that's what I get my rocks off. But not really,
Right.
it's the homemade stuff that really gets me going. But like when I watch a
Yeah.
good documentary, it's like, man, just you get sucked in and you can feel like all the hard work and energy and dedication and and time that it took usually 1 to 3 people to make a documentary. There's not much more besides that. I mean, in a lot of cases, the guy who wrote it, produced it and directed it is also holding the camera.
Right.
So that's what I want because I'm such a control freak, and it's like that's what I want. I don't want fake people getting in the way of what I would consider like an artistic, item, for people to enjoy. You know,
Well, and that's the great thing about documentary. You get a lot more control. I've heard a lot of people say that Hollywood, a big problem now is there's too many cooks in the kitchen, where you'll have a story. Somebody, a creative person, writes the story, right? So whether it's an author that writes a book or a screenwriter that writes a screenplay, and they have this idea, and it's such a good idea that a studio decides to buy it. So they buy this, whatever they pay for it, they buy the script, and then they proceed to give it to a dozen other people. They have business people that are non-creatives that are chopping up and saying, well, we don't meet this, this doesn't have enough diversity, this doesn't have enough this, we need to change this. And then you give it to other creative people to chop up and punch up and change completely. And it's this thing where, you buy it because you think it's good, and then you destroy it and give it to a bunch of people that weren't there for the original creation of the idea. I think there would be a lot more successful and good movies and just art all around if they allowed the person who created it to, like a documentary, be the center of focus from beginning to end, because they can maintain whatever it is, whatever that emotion that got them going, whatever it was that led them to actually create this work of love, they still have it. The other people are just getting paid, but whoever created it, they've got that spark that drove them to create it. And they'll always have that. And unfortunately, Hollywood just doesn't care, and that's why they make nothing but crap now.
See, and that's why books are better, because you have usually 3 people, deal with the book. You have the writer, you have the editor, and then you have the publisher. And
yeah, and speaking of books, I've been saying it for a very, very long time, but last night Natalie finished her final round of editing on the pack. Nice. I sent it off to Tactical 16 this morning, so it is now being formatted for Kindle.
Nice.
Should be up for sale soon.
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. I'm already working on the second book. It's going to be a doozy.
This I'll read because it's it's a fiction book. It's
right.
So that won't dissuade my my what I'm trying to do. So good job, man. Very, very good job. And I just want to give a shout out to my uncle. We finally celebrated Christmas with him and his kids, my cousins and stuff like that, my daughter and stuff, just because of people's schedules and whatnot, a month later. So this, Houdini got a hold of me like a week ago, and or 2 weeks ago or something like that, a couple weeks ago. And it goes, oh, we're having a discussion at work. What the best punk rock band is. What's your opinion? He goes, I know that's your forte. And I just ran all over this list of, I think this because of this, this, and this. Not this band because of this, and this band because of blah, blah, blah. And then we go and open up gifts, and I have a Dead Boys t-shirt that I'm wearing. And that was the band that I said, I think probably the best punk band that nobody heard about. Yep. And I also, which I'm very excited, I got a DVD. Halloween Night, Return of the Living Dead Boys, 1986. For those of you, all you music fans out there, the Dead Boys were a punk band out of Cleveland, Ohio. And the best punk rock song ever is the first one on here, the track list, Sonic Reducer. If you've never heard that song, listen to it. Yeah, it's a punk song. It's got your typical, British, blended American sounding voice, but great punk song. Like, there's really structure to this song, and that's why I like it. Then they split off into a few bands. Peru Ubu was one, and there's another band I can't remember. like guys went off and made a couple bands, and so they got a long legacy in terms of music. So if you're an old school punk fan or a hardcore fan, or just an old music fan, definitely check out the Dead Boys. And I've never seen a Dead Boys t-shirt, so I like it. And
So what?
yes, I like it.
What is it in your mind? What is it in your mind when he asks you who's the best punk band? How did you make up your mind? What do you consider? What are your qualifications there?
Gritty, I would say. I hate to use these cliche terms, but I guess I kind of have to. Like a gritty sound. You never want a really polished punk sound like Green Day. They're dumb. They're very produced, or Fall Out Boys. They're very overly produced, but gritty, imperfect, I guess you would say. Like, you could hear where they messed up, where where the engineer messed up, the recording messed up, or the band messed up, and they're just like, they didn't have enough time, energy, and money to do a second take or a third take. So you could hear, the imperfections in the song. Something to relate to. I think big thing for punk bands, if you're in that mindset, if you're kind of like against, I hate cliches, but I'm going to use them. If you're against the system in a way, if you hate, all-encompassing things over you, I think the lyrics, speak to you. I never really liked authority. I never liked people telling me what to do, so I joined the Army like an idiot. No, I love the fact that I was in the Army, but just like my personal opinion, sometimes even 14 and a half years later, I look back like, how the hell did I survive this long? How am I an NCO? How do I have a rack of ribbons on my chest? Because, I don't like that. I don't like people telling me what to do. That's why I enjoy writing and I want to be a documentary maker, because I like to do my own thing. So I think a gritty sound.
Very punk rocky, Joe.
Yeah. A very gritty sound that speaks to like that raw, like that forever teenage angst in you,
Forever 21.
Forever 17.
You didn't get my reference to teenage clothing.
Yes, I did get that.
Oh, you did.
I hope you got my reference to my cutoff age for dating. That was an homage to my girlfriend being 10 years younger than me.
Well, that's good. That looks like a pretty good Christmas present.
Yes, I'm very happy. So I'm going to listen to that tomorrow. So yeah, just a good gritty, hardworking band, I think makes a good punk band, not one of these polished bands, that's why I don't like modern music for the most part, just because it seems so overly done. I guess that crosses over into films and acting and TV and stuff like that, overly produced. I think one of the best TV shows ever was The Twilight Zone, and man, that was not that. That seemed like a bunch of one takes, in my opinion. And I think that's why I like podcasts as opposed to your local big morning zoo show. It's just, I like that. I like being able to have that hard work from somebody reverberate through really just capture me. Like, I feel like I'm caught up in their work. I could feel their energy and hard work. So
well, that's good. And I think podcasting is a lot more personal. I think podcast audiences are a lot more personal than terrestrial radio ever was, because you might have your guy you listen to on the way to work every morning, but still it's not, like you said, they're overly produced, they're very confined, they have very tightly managed parameters over what they can do. And Adam Carolla always makes fun of their little segment things they got to do. Oh, it's 5 till 5 minutes an hour, 55 after, and all the little stuff they have to do, to the point where there's nothing original in there because everything is a bit that they have to do. Yeah. Whereas podcasting, we're not beholden to anybody unless, of course, you are going to buy any On-It products like Alpha Brain or New Mood, and you want to use that checkout code RPL to save yourself 10% off. Boom. But that's the thing. With podcasts, you get to choose your sponsors. How awesome is that?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll choose anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, instead of radio where you got to sit down and they go, okay, here's our sponsors. You must like these people. You can't say this. You can't say that.
The biggest problem I had in FM radio when I worked in FM radio was was three things. I did not want to give the weather forecast at the top and the bottom of the hour. I hated that. So I used to be like, okay, and here's your weather update. It is just as cold as it was a half hour ago. Or, you know what? Everybody's got smartphones, and I can see the temperature on my phone right now. You can as well. There's your weather update. Stuff like that. The other one was the station identification at the top of every hour. That's a law. That's a rule, a regulation handed down by the FCC. You have to give the station identification at the top of every hour. So I had to do WNR, blah blah blah, Wausau, Wisconsin, for the people, by the people, and it was just like, really, like, who forgets what freaking radio station they're listening to? Like, if you're the type of person like me, the FM station I have is usually the one that just stays on constantly. It's probably, from what my girl put on, 9 times out of 10 it is. So it's like, why do I have to remind people of what they're listening to? Or, you know what? Most radios in cars now, stereos, have the call letters on the screen. Why am I doing this again? And then the live reads. I had to do, we didn't produce commercials. We did live reads. And the person that wrote the reads for the station was Hmong, Vietnamese.
Oh yeah.
And
Hmong.
Hmong, Hmong. And let's just say there was, when you could tell, like, when somebody's foreign, by the way they talk, and they just, with the words that might be butchered, and I've done it, like trying to speak French. I'm guilty of it. Well, this person typed the same way they talked. And I'm like, all right, I'm not. It just got to the point where I had to do like 5 live reads. So I'm doing this one for this chiropractor. I'm doing one for it was for auto insurance. Other one was for this, a restaurant, this, and I'm just like, why am I talking about fucking luggage at 10 o'clock at night? Nobody that listened to me is gonna go out and buy luggage from the Leatherman. Like, I gotta write that down. 8 o'clock in the morning, they open up. I'm gonna go get me a new luggage. Really?
It sounds like your show might have appealed to some tweakers, so I think that was a possibility.
Well, yeah, probably. Yeah, there was probably someone there out there at like 3 o'clock in the morning going, yeah, I want luggage. So I started reading the live reads exactly how it was written down, and I got in trouble for it because I was mocking that person. I wasn't mocking that person. I was mocking the station because they said, "Oh, you're straying too far off the script." Because I would add in fun stuff, or I would add in whatever, try to make it interesting instead of doing the same read over and over and over again. I had to do in a 4-hour show, I had to do like 30 reads. And I'm like, get the hell out of here with that. So I started having fun with it. Like, oh, you can't do that. I'm like, all right, if I can't be creative in this, I'm going to do it. I'm going to read it as exactly as it is presented to me. And it was horrible. It was dog awful. It was absolutely horrible. And I got even more trouble for that. So I did not mess
Damned if you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, at some point you just got to give up and go with the flows. Well, I tell you what, I don't know why that reminded me of something, but there's something that I found out about a couple of days ago, and I put a little thing on Facebook about it last night, and I wanted to hear what your kind of take on this was. I read this article by a journalist that was saying he was talking about Chris Kyle. Somebody who went to go see American Sniper because everybody else, went to go see it, and it's supposed to be the greatest movie in the world. And he said, Take Away was a decent movie, but he had actually done a lot of background research on Chris Kyle for something. And I never knew this, but apparently there's a whole bunch of lies that he told and he was just straight up outed for. And for some reason it's been very, very hush-hush and very, very kind of swept under the rug. One of the big ones, and this blew my mind because I never really knew this. I had never even heard this. Jesse Ventura. That's the big thing is the Jesse Ventura lawsuit that he won against Chris Kyle. And people were saying he's taking money out of his his widow's hands and all this other stuff. Do you know what the lawsuit was for?
Yeah, I actually heard the interview that the lawsuit stemmed from. I was listening to Opie and Anthony. This is, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, somewhere around there. it had to be at least 3, like maybe 3-4 years ago. Chris Kyle was on Opie and Anthony.
No kidding.
Yep, and he was on. It was a really good interview. The dude sounded really cool, really laid back. And then they're like, "Oh, you brought up something where you punched whatever." He referenced, I guess, just
Scruffy face.
what was it?
Scruffy face.
Scruffy face. Yeah, he referenced them, and they're like, who's Scruffy face? And they were trying to get it out of him. He's like, I'll pass. Then he's like, Jesse Ventura. And they're like, what? Really? And he's like, yeah, I punched him in the face. And I was like, I was listening, and you ever get those moments where like, this is big? Like you're in a moment like this is big. You don't. Jesse Ventura is a very big name, popular, political, wrestling, acting, military. Whether you agree with what he says or not, I think he's a flake, personally, but he's a big name guy.
Right.
And that's the whole interview. The whole lawsuit stemmed from that he defamed his name, and the lawsuit I guess started when Chris Kyle was alive, and then continued when he passed away. So
the whole basis of the lawsuit is that, and this is how he won. This is why he won, was that it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely fabricated. There was never even a fight at the bar.
Yeah, and I've heard, like, I want to. Here's the thing. I want to respect, let me put it this way. I respect everything that Chris Kyle did in uniform. I mean, he did something that I would never be able to do, and there's a reason why I'm a mechanic and not a sniper. There's just some things you're not cut out for.
Right.
And he was on a level, completely different level than what most people in the military could ever even imagine to achieve. I've heard a lot of things that people have a lot of issues with things that he said or has been accused of saying, or possibly he said. The one was the Jesse Ventura thing, and I heard a lot of military personnel said no, that didn't happen. I think there was a couple people that backed up what Chris Kyle said, but I think the majority of people involved in the case, witnesses, went against what Chris Kyle said.
Yeah.
Whether you think Ventura's a douchebag or not, if it's not true, then it's not true. I mean, I look at it. I try to look at it in both, the situations. Like, okay, if I was, the loved one of Chris Kyle, it's like, oh, really, I'm not involved. I didn't do this. I didn't say this. I wasn't involved. Why is this guy still going after me? But if I was Jesse Ventura and somebody said something that wasn't true about me, I guess the only thing you really got at the end of the day is your word as a man and how people look at you. And I would be hard pressed to just let something like that pass by, if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
It would.
The thing
it's pride,
that really struck me about it was just how, the media painted Jesse Ventura as this evil, I didn't even know why Ventura was suing him. Mm-hmm. I heard, and all that I heard was that he got punched by Chris Kyle, and that's why he was suing him. And then I went, well, why is it a defamation lawsuit? That doesn't make any sense. And they did a really good job of just painting Jesse Ventura as a D-bag, mm-hmm. but never really explaining what the case was about. Even Anderson Cooper went after him. There's a lot of different stuff about this, and it really got me because you start to kind of understand that's just how the media works. They choose a side, and they just go for that side. And it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, and they're not going to tell you, they're not actually going to give you a fair and balanced perspective. They're just going to go from one side, and they're going to go with it until it's over.
Yeah. And I would think, why should, if I was in Jesse Ventura's shoes, why would I want, because that story was in the book, in the Chris Kyle book. Why would I want anybody, I don't care who it is, why would I want anybody to partially profit off of, a lie, and defaming my name, my character, whatever you think of Ventura. I mean, you could pick 10,000 other things and think he's a whack job, but I could not sit back and let somebody make a penny off me by painting me in something that's not true. I just, as a man, as somebody with a lot of pride, I just couldn't do that.
Yeah, and Kyle, I think he would have been fine if he hadn't come out and said who Scruffy Face was.
Yeah, and he said, and I remember saying it because, like, I was a fan of Jesse Ventura before his TV show, that conspiracy show.
Yeah.
I'm a wrestling fan. The hell, if you're not a fan of the Predator, I mean, that guy, one of the most badass roles ever as a guy, Ventura had in the Predator. He went, and he was, in the predecessor of what the Navy SEALs were.
Yeah, he was the UDT.
Yeah, UDT.
Which is the SEALs. Yeah, it was the beginning of the SEALs.
So he was, I guess for all intents and purposes, an original Navy SEAL, a badass pro wrestler that wore feather boas. He made gay look cool. He became an actor, a badass actor. Then he became a governor, a libertarian, out of nowhere. Whether he did, it's Minnesota. Nobody will know if he did a good job or not because everybody's still frozen. And then he gets a TV show. For all intents and purposes, fairly popular guy. A level of respect because that guy seems to be able to succeed in any situation he's put in. Do I like his politics? Yeah. Hell no. No, not whatsoever. Not the whole 9/11 stuff, the Iraq stuff. No, I don't like his personal views on stuff. But goddamn, you got to respect somebody that just is really successful. And why would you want anybody to take that, tarnish that? You know? I don't care who it is. I'm sorry. I don't care if it was you saying stuff like that. And like me and you are friends. I'd be like, dude, we're friends, but really? I mean,
right.
It's just it's disheartening. It's saddening too. And then there's other stories.
Speaking of documentaries, there's another documentary that's out there, and I cannot remember the name because it just kind of came to me today. There's another documentary out there that's about these kind of things. It's about basically marketing. It's about public relations marketing.
Nice.
And it's about. You remember hearing the story of the woman who spilled hot coffee in her lap at McDonald's?
Yeah, wasn't it like an old lady in Ohio?
McDonald's for like millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it's a documentary about that because that woman actually had third-degree burns on her genitals and like she had to have all these operations and all this stuff because the coffee was at like 180. It's just some ungodly, some crazy temperature. But McDonald's had so much money to put into a smear campaign. They just smeared her, so people completely lost track of what had actually happened, and she became the butt of a lot of jokes. And there's a documentary that's about that. And I thought this would be very interesting, to throw the Jesse Ventura, Chris Kyle thing into that, because it's kind of the same deal where they just had this PR campaign against Jesse Ventura as hard as they could and just pounded him in. Just pounded him. And I can't remember the name of that documentary if you can find it.
I've seen it, like, because I'll go online and I'll check ratings for different documentaries and stuff, and that's usually where I decide, pick from. And I think I did see that, and I kind of laughed it off at first, but then I saw it again. I'm like, you know what? I could probably learn a few things from that. So I have to watch that. There was a documentary I saw recently. It was good. Oh, the Sriracha hot sauce documentary. Pretty damn good. Really good. Sriracha. That's the name of it. And it's not a long one. It's like a 45, 50-minute documentary. The guy was... And what's the name of the company? Is like Phong Bang or... Yeah, Huamong Foods or something like that. Yeah, well, he was an immigrant from Vietnam after the Vietnam War, and the name of the immigration ship that they just set these people off, the cast out at sea, that was the name of the ship. So he'll never forget where he came from. He showed up in America. I think they sent him first to like Hong Kong or Singapore, and they said no. Then they sent, I don't know, the Philippines maybe or something like that, and they said no. And finally, they showed up at the U.S. and they took him in. And this guy started from nothing, and he's a damn millionaire. And he does it. Sriracha hot sauce has never once paid for any advertising whatsoever. All word of mouth. All word of mouth. And the hot sauce comes from, all the chilies comes from one farmer in California. So these two old dudes just have been making a killing off each other, And
that's awesome. Yeah, it's here. I mean, it's here in Whittier. There was a big stink when I guess their plant started emitting some kind of stinky fumes or something. They had to
Yep.
shut down, and there was this big scare because the whole country went, "Oh my God, we can't get our siracha," because there is no real substitute.
Yeah.
It's like, really good mayonnaise. There's no real substitute.
And here's the crazy
so-
thing. He can't patent the name or trademark the name sriracha
Why?
because it's a name. There's a couple, I think, in Thailand and Vietnam, but maybe Thailand. There's another sriracha hot sauce. It's like a name that it would be trying to patent the name like coffee or the term coffee, I guess.
Right. Right.
If what I remember. But yeah, this guy's making a ton of money on something he can't trademark, and he's never advertised. So good for him. So if you
Good
like
for
business,
him.
you're a good businessman, I think. So yeah, if you watch that, that's what I suggest. You'll like that.
Also,
So, and then
Well,
it makes you
speaking of
want to
good
have
business-
Then it makes you want to have an omelet just drenched in sriracha. Which my goal, one of my things I've been trying to accomplish lately is making the perfect French omelet. So,
ooh.
yeah.
Yeah, Natalie just got me a bunch of non-stick pans, so I'm working on perfecting my omelet making
You gotta
skills.
tap it. You only put it in for like a second. Yeah, tap it, so it lifts. You stir it, and you put the egg in, and you stir it. It almost looks like scrambled eggs. Then you let it sit for like 10 seconds. Then you tap it, and then you fold it like an envelope. No browning. It's very light. No milk. It's very good, man. I'm trying. I'm getting there. But the one time I tapped it and the fold it, and guess what I had? I had omelet all over my burner.
Yeah, and that'll just never get off.
Yeah. It's,
So I know you've got something that you very much wanted to go over tonight. You wanted to have our own SAG Awards.
Yes,
but
I got
before
a
we get
couple
into
of things.
that, I had a couple of headlines that I wanted to cover because I was looking through the news for you on the show, and there was some stuff that I thought you and I could definitely put a unique perspective to.
Yes, let's go
and
Greek.
some of the
Ha.
current events that are going on. Yeah, the Greeks. So talking about good business. They just had the elections in Greece, and the Greek leftist party won on a vow to end austerity. They're basically going to get rid of austerity. So if anybody remembers, Greece essentially had their own financial collapse a few years ago, right? They had this meltdown where everything went to shit. Everything went to shit. So ever since they've had austerity, where the government came in and said, "Hey, you lazy Greeks can't just be sitting around doing nothing. You got to get to work." Right? So austerity, they cut down. Greece is one of those places that America, people like SAG, the unions are trying to make it become, where it's very union heavy. If you get a government job, it's basically you're paid to go show up somewhere and do absolutely nothing, and you're paid better than anybody in the private industry, and a lot of different things like that. And that's what kind of ran them into the ground. And now, of course, a new government, the ultra liberal, the far left as you can get party in Greece, just won again, vowing in austerity. So my whole thing here is I'm wondering just how long it's going to be until they have another collapse.
I don't know. You would think Greece has a viable economy. Why can't they? Why aren't they fine? I could see somebody like Albania. What does Albania have to offer?
Right.
But Greece, tourism, beaches, resorts, vacation. It should be like the ultimate tourist destination for sophisticated people or people that like butt sex.
Yeah.
Because that's the term.
But that's
Going
the thing you gotta
Greek.
think about.
Going Greek that's what it refers to. That's why I say, yeah, going Greek. But I don't know.
It is a great tourist spot, but what if you don't live on the ocean? What if you don't live on the ocean and sell trinkets? They don't really do a whole lot else. I mean, that's the other problem. They make ouzo, and I think that's about it.
Olives. I love olives. I think everything that comes out of the food. Listen, if you start a democracy and rhetoric, and you got about 10 billion islands in your country, poor management. That's what it is. Because maybe they need a dictator. I don't know.
I think it might be. That's one of the big things in the Middle East. Like before we went in there, same as everybody else, thought Saddam was just the worst human being ever to live, and he was a pretty bad guy. But after spending enough time in the Middle East, that was kind of the conclusion I came to, is that some people really do just need a dictator.
Oh yeah.
Because there are certain people that just Iraq is still trying to get democracy together because they just can't. They just cannot put up with each
I'll tell
other.
you who needs dictators. North Africa, the Middle East, the Balkans, all of South America, and those little island countries in the Pacific, like Fiji, Tonga, stuff like that. Sometimes you need it. I mean, look at us. 200 years and we're like the freest people in the world, and come on. I mean, we still are walking around with our shoelaces tied together, with the shoes on backwards at times. I mean, we can't get out of our own 2 feet sometimes. I'm talking about politics, it's so. Some countries, some nations really do need dictators. In Iraq, like when I was over the first time in Iraq, I'm like, yeah, we're right. And then the next time I came over, I'm like, yep, inmates are running the asylum.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of it's a cultural thing. That the Muslim culture, that is like any sign of backing up is weakness.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of the whole point of politics. You're supposed to be able to find a way to meet common ground and meet it and make everyone win. That's very against their culture.
Yeah.
If you're a guy in their culture and you back down at all, it's seen as weakness. The other guy just attacks.
What political? Yeah, and that's why people are like, oh, why do so many people attack under politics in the Middle East? What Middle Eastern political party wants to come in second place? You have to kill that person in first place to save face. I mean, it's just like walking through a doorway with another dude in most Middle Eastern countries. You don't go, oh, yeah, pardon me, there you go. Because, guess who's riding bitch, in that relationship forever. You gotta be a man. This is a lot of testosterone in the Middle East, man. It's just, I think the only thing that could save them, in terms of democracy, is just inundate them with tons of porn. Move Van Nuys to the Middle East, and move Brazzers to the Middle East, and that's what'll save democracy, not McDonald's and Levi's. I'm sorry. So maybe Greece needs the same thing, because they tried democracy a couple thousand years ago. That kind of blew up in their face.
I think Greece has plenty of porn. I think that's their problem. Greece is doing nothing else. Middle East doesn't do it enough.
Oh yeah, they just got to switch. They got to do like some timeshares between Greece and Iraq, and I think everything will balance out. Damn alligator.
Yeah. Well, the Middle Easterners, they like to go Greek quite a bit. I mean, they've already got that part taken care of.
Farm animals.
Farm animals, anything you can talk. So, yeah, I don't know. I just see that as a recipe for disaster. Again, they got austerity for a reason. Like, they couldn't get their stuff together, and they're still not out of the woods.
Yeah.
So,
do you think there's any other countries like Greece that are like on the verge of just basically imploding again?
There are a lot of them. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing about the EU. One thing that the euro did, and it's why countries like Switzerland and Germany keep kind of getting it stuck to them. So Switzerland, is it Switzerland or Sweden, just announced that they're going to stop buying back euros because
I think it was
essentially
Sweden. I think it was one of the Scandinavian countries. I think.
Yeah, it's probably Sweden. But you get one of these, you get a little country like Greece, right? So the Greek people just want to sit around all day on a beach and suntan and drink ouzo and go Greek. Right? That's all they want to do.
And eat olives.
They don't really want to go work. Then you have a country like Germany. That's all Germans want to do.
Yeah, that's all they do is work.
They're like robots. They're made to work. Get up, build something, go home, have a beer, make another German, and go to bed. Right? And that's essentially what they do. And unfortunately, the euro allows this entire economy to be kind of controlled by all of them. Right? It's a perfect socialist. It's a socialist utopia. Right? It's socialism. Germans work really hard. The Greeks don't do anything. The German economy is off the charts. So when the Greeks start to falter, the Germans don't want the euro to sink, so they have to prop it up, or Sweden has to prop it up, or everyone has to prop it up. This is why Great Britain refused to go into the EU. I don't know, they're a part of the EU, but they refused to go on the euro because they knew that's exactly what was going to happen. You get one country that's working hard, one country full of lazy people, and it doesn't meet in the middle all the time. And so I would say there's a lot of, I think Italy probably, because I know, if I know anything, I know Italians. Italians are right up there with Greeks, man. I mean, they're just, people don't realize, but, Italy's a third world country. Like, I've been there. I've been all over north, south, east, west. It's a third world country, man. If you're outside of the big tourist spots. I mean, good luck finding running water in a toilet and electricity working all the time. It's beautiful, but it's a third world country full of people that don't want to work. And it's a uniquely American thing or a uniquely Western thing to have is just a society full of people that not all, but a lot of us really try to work. A lot of us want to go make something of ourselves and want to go do something. We have a lot of our own parasites that just want to sit around and do nothing and collect, welfare entitlements and anything else they can. But we have an awful lot of people that's their goal. They go to school, they get up, they pack their briefcase, they go to work, they work all day and they come home and that's their life. You have a lot of other countries that don't. They just don't want to do that. They don't want to do anything but sit around. And, I think there's a lot of them. And then a lot of other ones that can't get above themselves or can't get away from themselves, like Albania and things like that, where they got nothing. There is nothing. It's
their
just
biggest
nothing.
export is track pants and pleather jackets.
The Bosnian business suit, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Bosnian business suit. That's all it is. It's the Adidas tracksuit. Yeah.
And
So, I don't know. I think Italy. I would say Italy's probably coming up close.
yeah, I could see that. It's Spain too. Spain's in a ton of trouble. I mean, that whole country gets excited. What is it? El Gordo or whatever, that big lotto where it's like $2 trillion.
Yeah.
That's the only thing people look forward to because their economy's shot as well. So it's like cities are right. It's sad when whole entire cities and metro areas in a country are hoping they win the lotto. It's like, that's not right. That's what happens when you take a 3-hour lunch break. Italy, Spain, Greece, I mean, France, you're next. Trust me, I love the idea of a nice long afternoon break. But there's a reason why Germany has made so much, and killed so many people. They're hard workers. They put their mind to something, they do it. It's just the problem is they worked a little too much and didn't make enough German babies. That's why they lost the wars. They're inundated with lazy people around them, surrounded by lazy people. I mean, what Germany should have done in World War I was just attack at 1:00 p.m. every day, and they would have won. This sunrise crap. You're fighting a bunch of farmers. They fight at 7 a.m. That's where Germany went wrong. The clock. They didn't make a good enough clock.
That is one thing that I really saw in Afghanistan. Going to NATO bases whenever I'd be in Kabul, we'd go around to different NATO bases because you'd have to get read on to different stuff and do coordinations and whatever. Every NATO base, had coffee shops, little espresso shops all over it, and it just blew my mind because you'd see all the European soldiers. I'm using air quotes here, soldiers. And we would drive on the base, and you'd get out and go, start walking your way to a meeting, and you'd see these, big groups of these soldiers, air quotes again, drinking their espresso and cappuccino. You'd be gone for 2 or 3 hours doing whatever you got to do around the base. Come back to go get back in your trucks, and the same people would just be chilling, just chilling, having an espresso and having a cappuccino, not doing anything. And you know why? Because we were footing the bill.
Yep. Well,
when
I was in Egypt in 2001, the same thing. I remember busting my ass digging it. Who the hell digs a trench in the damn desert besides this guy? I have multiple deployments, and my biggest claim to fame was I know how to pickaxe the desert because I did all over the place. Well, that's when I was combo. I had to run that stupid wire for the crank up telephones. The hell, freaking pre-Tesla technology I'm using in freaking modern warfare. And the same thing, we had Italians. Those bastards would party, and I say bastards because I was jealous and envious all at the same time, and it blisters all over my damn hands. Pasta and wine every freaking night, and I'm like, I can't even open up my stupid Frankfurter MRE because the freaking skin off my hands is peeling because I've been digging so many trenches, making so many, cable weight and stuff like that. It's just because we did all the work. They're like, why did they? I wouldn't do that. If I was an Italian, why would I get up and work? Whatever, my spaghetti's gonna get cold, and this is a really great red wine blonde. You want me to do what? Get the hell out of here, stupid Americans.
War. Come on, war. We're not here to war. We're not here for war. We're here to drink some coffee.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess maybe we should learn a thing or two from the Italians, because didn't they create one of the largest empires ever? I mean,
They did, but you know what? So did the Persians, and so did the Middle East. That's a problem. There's a lot of societies out there that are has-beens, and they did great, amazing things, and their society just crumbled, and somebody else picked up. And
you know why the Romans crumbled, right?
We're getting close.
You know why those Romans crumbled, right? Those damn Germans. Like I say, when in Rome, do as the Germans do, right? Plunder and pillage, my friend. Take it all.
Go Greek.
There you
Just
go.
go Greek.
I do.
So
I do
Greek,
because I got a lot of
this
Greek
is another
yogurt.
one.
I've been drinking. Plain Greek yogurt only has 7 grams of sugar, but the vanilla Greek yogurt is more grams of sugar than Cookie Crisp cereal.
Really?
27 grams of sugar per serving in the vanilla Greek yogurt. The plain, just got to suck it up. My girl doesn't like, I don't like the plain. I like the... Fine. Go get diabetes from the Greek yogurt. I'm eating the plain Greek yogurt with the plain oats, and I'm going to be healthy. That's right.
I never knew that. 27 grams.
Yes.
Wow, I never knew that. So, who definitely doesn't know that? There's an Australian model, former Miss Universe, who is getting slammed for showing her post-baby tummy pictures on Facebook. Have you seen this?
No, but I know what they look like. It looks like...
There's another one that...
What are those seahorses? Those seahorse shoes? You know what those things are? You know what I'm talking about? Those.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
what some pregnant women after birth. That's what some of their stomachs look like. You flip one of those over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
well, this happened again. There's somebody else that happened last year. There was a hot mom that she had like four babies, and she posted pictures of her like working out or in her workout gear.
Yeah, she did.
And
good.
she just got slammed by hundreds of thousands of people. And I don't know. I think a lot of that just kind of... I think it starts to show what's wrong with our society. Where people... It used to be... Adam Carolla talks about this a lot, too. It used to be that, if you had somebody that did a really good job, worked really hard and was really successful, bought themselves something nice, like let's say a Bentley. You drive around your Bentley and people would see them and go, little kids would see them and say, wow, that's a really nice car. How do I get a car? And the parents would say, well, you got to work hard. That's Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones started his own business, worked 18-hour days for 10 years and worked really hard and then sold his business and made a ton of money. He was a hard worker. That was the past. Now people see someone driving by in a Bentley and they just hate. Just that person doesn't deserve that. Why do they have a Bentley and I don't? I think I should have a Bentley. The government should buy a Bentley. Let's take that guy's Bentley away from him.
It goes back to reality TV. Like anybody could be famous. Now anybody thinks anybody could have a Bentley. No, not anybody can have a Bentley. Not everybody should have a Bentley.
Or else it wouldn't be a Bentley.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a Bentley. That's that's the thing. Like you see people, too much TV, the internet. I love the internet. I mean, god damn, do I love the internet. But I blame a lot of stuff on the internet just because dumb people in the 80s were dumb in their towns. And everybody in the neighborhood knew they were dumb. Now, and they didn't infect too many people. Maybe one neighbor. Maybe 3 guys at the bar, But now, dumb people have access to infect everybody. And their stupidity is spreading like, these non-vaxxers' measles on the West Coast. It's just, everybody's dumb now because of the internet, because so many dumb people get their information out there, get their voice. Not everybody should have a voice. I don't think everybody should have a voice. Leave the talking to us, people. And that's the problem.
We're great poster boys for that one.
Hell yeah. We got great hair. That's what matters.
Okay, you got a point there.
Yes, but that's the thing. I think that's the problem, where everybody thinks they deserve everything because it's like they're inundated with everything that everybody has, and everybody has a voice. And so many dumb people... back in the day, the guy at the bar, I should have had that promotion. And then that drunk guy next to him, yeah, you're right, you should have had that promotion. Now they could just go on Twitter and say they should have had that promotion. And there's 1.2 million of their followers are saying the same exact thing.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah, well, and that's the unfortunate thing is you got kids and I've got kids, and so I know I've seen for mommies just how hard it is to lose weight post baby. I mean their body just basically gives them the middle finger
Mm.
and says, "Hey, good luck with this one."
Oh yeah, we're talking about babies.
Um, but for someone to work their butt off and actually go and get a bikini body after babies again, why can't you just say congratulations?
Well, that's the thing
Why do
because
women have to just hate on her so much? Instead of taking time to go and do the same thing she did, they'd rather just hate on her and hate on her.
well, that's the thing. People are lazy and want instant gratification, so they see stuff like that. It's like, oh, it must be genetics. Ah, it must be genetic. It must be great to have their body. Blah blah blah. Well, nobody told your two fat parents to have a baby. You know, I mean, the one thing I got going for me, my parents were thin. Um, that's about all they had going for them. So, so that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like some people can bounce back instantly. Some people, like those people that like that girl that you said last year with the 4 kids. She busts her ass. She's like a fitness model or something. That's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
hard work in the gym. And trust me, I'm like, I'm not. I'm in the gym, like I said, 4 or 5 nights a week. And I'm like, why can't I see results? It's not going to deter me because I'm going to keep going because I know it's like, okay, I'm one of those people. I really have to, really work hard to see results. Not in just that, but certain other aspects. It's like I gotta have a strong work ethic, and that's what people don't have. So they look at stuff like that, and it's like just the instant hatred, instant hate.
Yeah, it's a shame, and we're just teaching that for future generations. Don't work hard, just bring down the people that are up. That's socialism. I mean, that's socialism at its greatest. That's what it is. Bring down the people that do the best. Bring them down to our level instead of trying to get everyone to lift themselves up. Bring down the outliers.
I think any well, and also if you're married, it's teamwork too. When like say to lose baby weight, nobody wants to be that wife or girlfriend or mother that's busting their ass and then their husband just getting fat on the couch. That's what you should do. Is I like this idea. I just came up with it. You should go like a health and welfare inspection 6 months after the baby's born, and if both parents are lazy on the couch, snip their internet line because you don't need that. You don't need that going. Take their smartphones,
Probably
snip
snip their
internet line.
reproductive lines too.
That too, but do that in a different fashion. Put a boxing glove on the end of a baseball bat and just keep jabbing them in the stomach. That's what you do. So
Have you heard? There's a case. There was a gynecologist in a certain area. I can't remember where it was. Somewhere in the South that was sterilizing women. They were sterilizing women. Like certain women would come in for pregnancy or to deliver babies or for something else, and he would sterilize them. Thankfully, it was women that he just didn't deem fit as parents, and like he was a good guy in my mind that was going,
yeah,
you should not be able to breathe, and just sniffing them.
you know what it was? He got caught up in that fantasy when we're all like 17 or 16. Gyno's got to have the best job because you just see vaginas all day. He got suckered into that job. Then he actually saw what was staring back at him. He's like, I don't ever want this person back. Snip.
Yeah, well, and that's, you have these great expectations of it, but they're never looking at it in its prime form.
Yeah.
They're getting a view of it when something's wrong, and that's, oh boy.
I got something that looks like grape jelly coming out of an orifice. Is that okay? No. Your HMO is just tonight. You gotta go. You can't. I can't. I don't. No pro bono. No pro bono. Oh wait, no. But I got the affordable. Oh damn it! Sit down.
Even worse.
He just gets a cleaning. He just gets a cleaning rod for a 50 cal. You're never coming back. Should it hurt that much? Yeah, we gotta scrape all the wall out of there. Goodbye, ma'am. Be on your way. Oh, since we're on a gross topic, I wanted to share this for the show, and I'm gonna give you the quick rundown, and you're gonna be mortified for a couple reasons.
I like where this is going.
My daughter had a play date Friday night, so she went to Canal Park. It's the largest ice skating rink in the state of New York. It's the original canal slip of the Erie Canal that's now an ice rink. They dug it up, re-earthed it, and made it into a ice skating rink in the winter, and then in the summer it's going to be a harbor. So she went there. It's great, awesome. I get 4 hours on a Friday night. So instead of go to a bar, what do? The girl and I, we shuffle off to the gym. I take my T plus. I'm feeling like I'm Italian, and just because I think I'm leaving a mark everywhere I sit down now. So I go to the gym and I do a half-hour cardio, and then I do that day. I'm like, I don't want to go all out, so I'm gonna do stomach and legs. So I did my abs, and I did legs, and then I did cardio. Afterwards, she goes, "Do you want to go? You want to go eat? We still got a few hours until your daughter comes back." I'm like, yeah. Why don't we do that? Well, there's this Mediterranean place. It's like kind of like Chipotle, but for Greek and Mediterranean food. So you could pick your pita bread, you could pick your vegetables and your lettuce and all this stuff, and your cheese and stuff and your olives. Like, that sounds really good. Then she goes, or do you want to go to Five Guys Burgers? Let's do the Mediterranean because, eat light and healthy and blah, blah, blah. And we're driving there, and they're right next to each other. So I'm like, what? Screw it. We're going to Five Guys. And I'm in my windbreaker pants, my workout shirt, and we go there, and I get a double bacon cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, onion, pickle, relish, hot sauce, jalapenos, extra grease, large fry, which is like big. It's like a 2-liter. And then I mix the Mr. Pibb and the Cherry Coke. And have peanuts. Yeah. Maybe if I would have... And it's, have you ever gone to Five Guys?
Yeah, I've been there once.
Okay,
yeah.
so, it's like they make it fresh off the grill, so there's a ton of grease. They don't really dry those things out. When we eat it, I eat it all. And then if a girl goes, I can't finish my burger. I didn't realize there were 2 patties. Oh, okay, I'll finish your burger. And I'm feeling real horrible. But the whole time I'm telling myself, I worked out my abs, so I'm good. It's just it's a mulligan. Call it even tonight.
When was this, Friday night?
This was Friday night. And
that's funny enough. Last night I went to go get soul food.
I saw that. I was looking at that menu, just panning over the menu. I'm like, I want to get this and this. Like, I'm ordering food off of a picture on Facebook. Freaking idiot. So now we go to a gas station, a drugstore to get some Epsom salt. Soak. We get a couple bags of Epsom salt to soak in the tub. And all of a sudden, man, oh man, do I get the rumble guts. Like right then and there, like boom, instantly. I'm like, oh my God, we got to go. And she's like, well, we got cash out. Yeah, okay, come on. So we're going to cash out. And she goes, what about if I poke you in the stomach? I'll leave you forever, is what I told her. It's at the point, I'm doing this waving vanilla ice looking dance at the cashier at the register. And then she goes, why don't you just go to the car? Yeah, I'll go warm up the car. I try to play it off. So I'm in the car. I'm like, oh my God, cold seat. Because it's freezing. It's like 5 degrees outside. She gets in the car. I am literally like 5.5 blocks away. 2 green lights. Two traffic signals. We drive. I just go, oh, snap. And she's like, what? I'm like, I might have to stop at the gym. Because it's right there. I live in this nice little Main Street area. I'm like, oh no, both lights are green. I'm gunning it. Guess what happened?
Cops?
No. I wish. It would have just topped off the night. No, something even worse.
You lost it? You lost control?
Yes. And not like a little or any little, like it was supposed to be this, but it was that. No.
Yeah.
It was there. It was there. I'm like, oh my God. And I just like, never mind. And she's like, what? She goes, did you shirt? I'm like, oh no. Don't just keep the first letter. We're good. Put a hit next to it. She's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I think so. And I'm hoping in my mind, I'm like, maybe it's just psychological. Now I go into my complex, I hit the bump, it happens again. I'm driving through the complex. It happened again. I could not stop myself. Couldn't stop myself. I'm wearing windbreakers. Slam on the brakes right in front of the apartment. I'm like, you're going to have to park the car. I grab my windbreakers in the front and just pull forward, like give myself like a frontal wedgie to make sure, Luckily, I had boxer briefs, and I did. And that's not the worst of it. I go to get situated and let's just say sit myself down, lost control again. Everywhere.
That's the downside about eating really healthy all the time is that if you ever do decide to splurge, like, that grease will put a hurting on you, man. If your stomach isn't ready to take it, that stuff will
and
get
I haven't eaten greasy food. I haven't eaten drank pop soda. I haven't had French fries. I haven't had none of that. I've eaten bacon, but I don't have this greasy, soppy mess of bacon. This was just like greasy, disgusting bacon. It was so good. It was so greasy the cheese was dripping off of it a half hour later. It was so good. But yeah, I lost all control as a 35-year-old man. And the paper that the psychologist has you look at, and it's like, what do you see?
Rorschach? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my underwear looked like. It was that bad, and I share this with you because listen, don't ever be embarrassed about something, because try living life after being a 35-year-old man crapping himself numerous times in a 5-block radius.
Well, hey, at least you got that out of the way.
Yeah,
no, at least you're taking care of it.
This is the first time this has happened to me sober. I can tell you that. No, I was really sick. I was deathly sick one time, and it happened. But that was just like, I was so sick. I'm like, oh, did I? I did. Like flu, like you're going to die sick. This was like stone cold sober. And whatever. Yeah, I'm embarrassed, but whatever. Like, dude, it happens. But that's the thing. It's like, I don't think I could eat that food anymore just because I've been eating so healthy of like granola, Greek yogurt, avocados, spinach, kale, smoothies, fruit, vegetables, like rice, really healthy chicken breast, fish, stuff like that. And then I go and just, and then maybe just one burger would have been okay, but man, did I go overboard.
Yeah, and the soda and the fries really didn't help. I mean, that's the thing. That stuff's pretty unnatural. Like meat, yeah, that's natural. But the way that we eat meat and the massive amount of calories that you ingested in that one sitting.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that, the soda has so much sugar in it. So it was sugar, grease, carbs, like all this extra stuff that your body just has had the pleasure of not getting lately.
And I would
all of a sudden you just...
Yeah, and I would say minus the natural sugars that you would get in like, fruit and stuff like that, I think, my sugar intake has been maybe, I could say, maybe a total of like 20, 25 grams a day. Total. Just, and sometimes it's like, okay, but I'm actually reading labels and everything, not trying to deviate from stuff, but I would say maybe total like 25 grams a day. That's including like juice and, stevia and stuff like that. Yeah. But, and then, like a lot of protein and stuff like that. And that's the first time I've just introduced that, in a while. And man.
Well, now you know the outcome.
Oh, God, it was just, as I'm making my way around the car and trying to hit the keypad, I just hear my girl. She's in the, oh my God, like, okay, it just hit her. And the cold, that cold, deadly air.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't think there was a burn pit that could compare.
Oh, wow.
So there. You think you had a night? You think you had a rough night? Yeah. I'd rather have woke up Saturday morning with a hangover than that. No pride. But
yeah, the grease hangover.
Let's do the quick SAG Awards. Our version of the SAG Awards. I have a list of categories, and I'm gonna give Rob. He is going to be the final vote getter. Whatever you want. There are there's two things. There's the what do you call? You got your typical lead role and then supporting role. Well, each category has its supporting, so I guess you could say this is number 2, and then you're number 1. So, the first one, most stupid situation of the year. The supporting most stupid situation of the year. And I'm wording these categories because I think every category that these award shows gives is just as dumb. So I'm not dumb myself. I did this for a reason. So the supporting most stupid situation of the year, of the last 12 months.
Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling. That whole situation where he had the mistress that was recording him and was like had her aspiration. Just that whole thing just seemed pretty goofy. I just to let yourself get in that situation, like
Yep.
if you're that rich and you're dating someone that young and stupid, don't let them have technology around you. Like, don't ever let them have a camera around you.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah, give them a few 100,000 more. Like, delete your Twitter and Instagram. Here, go.
Right.
Now, I like that one. Now, the leading role in most stupid situation of the year goes to. In your
God,
opinion,
that I don't know, man.
not
That's
God.
that's
I
gonna
don't
be
think
hard.
God had anything to do with the most stupid situation of the year.
I don't know. Unfortunately for last year, I haven't really paid attention to like pop culture because I know there's a lot of stupid ones
Oh, it could
out
be
there.
yeah, it could be anything. Okay, maybe I got one. Most stupid situation of the year is oh damn it, I just lost it now. Oh, the fact that football, deflated footballs are taking a front role in news as opposed to anything else going on in the world.
Yeah, what's going on with the deflated footballs? I haven't really. I've
Eh,
seen them.
I'm
I've saw
pretty
people
sure
make fun of it, but I have
I'm
no
pretty
idea what in
sure
the world's
Tom
going
Brady
on.
from the Patriots cheated and deflated, had somebody, whatever, deflate footballs. I guess this is all just an assumption that they deflated footballs in the AFC Championship game so they were easier to handle and hold in the cold, easier to throw, easier to catch. Well, one of the guys from the Indianapolis Colts intercepted the ball and kind of like, hey, this ball's a little bit softer because compared to the balls that the Colts were using, and the Colts got
Right.
blown out. I don't know if it helped the Patriots at all. They destroyed the Colts. So yeah, the fact that and there's two press conferences, and the fact that grown men had to say the word ball numerous times. The fact that I've handled plenty of balls, and I'm just like, this is what they're saying, and it's like, wait a second, isn't there other things going on in the world? I know the Super
Nope,
Bowl's a big deal,
nothing else. That's the most important thing.
but that's the most important thing. Hearing a grown man say balls numerous times. I can't wait until South Park destroys this. So, that being said, okay, supporting idiot celebrity. Now there's two. There's the supporting and the lead. The supporting idiot celebrity of the year.
Every one of them.
Yeah,
I have to say Kim
every-
Kardashian, man. Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian
That
works.
butt thing. That stupid butt picture.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know. Like break the internet. Come on, man.
We had to
She's
talk
not-
about that in class, in my mass media class, and I was just like, serious? Like, this is... Ugh. So, yeah, break the internet. How about somebody breaks a cinder block over her head?
I
Just
could live with that.
put her out of commission. That's a nice ass, though, but that's fake. That's a fake ass. Like, her ass wasn't that big 5 years ago. It wasn't. It really wasn't. There's a bunch of fakers. Like, since when can you CGI somebody as they walk in real time? That's what I want to know. That's whoever did that. But okay, so the lead role of an idiot celebrity goes to, and it can't be everyone again.
My winner every single year, Kanye West.
Kanye, there you go, the power couple.
It's the power couple, yeah, the gruesome twosome.
yeah. Just the fact that he said what he's more popular than God and the Beatles. And
Yeah,
all this other
just
stuff.
anything that comes out of his mouth, the guy's an idiot.
Yeah. Okay. Now here's one right up your alley. Now this isn't to be confused with our huge award of A-Hole of the Year award. This goes to D-Bag Politics Award. The supporting D-Bag Politic of the award year goes to.
Oh, jeez. D-bag politics of the year. Just what was the new one? Oh, increasing the amount of money that a private donor can give to elections. It's now up to like $350,000 a person.
Private donor. Yeah, there you go. I like that. I like that. And in your opinion, the lead role of the D-Bag Politics of the Year award?
Say the entire State of the Union address this year.
Yes, I got in trouble for saying something on Facebook about that. I said, "How do we have a race issue in this country? We have a black president, a white VP, what did I say? An orange Speaker of the House, a gray Supreme Court, which I mean they're all dead, and then a green military." And I put that's a fucking rainbow of freedom right there. And there was people
There you
that
go.
actually took offense to that.
Oh, who cares? Those people should be bred out of sight.
I don't
anyway.
care. Yeah, that that whole thing is just, just like what was the one a couple years ago where they wanted the Democrats and the Democrats to intermingle in the crowd, get there first and disperse. So instead of like one side standing up and one side not, they wanted to make it look like the perception that more people in the crowd were standing up. So they were going to plant Democrats in the Republican side. Because that's when the Democrats lost control of the House, so they didn't want to show that they had a smaller percentage, a smaller wedge. So you go sit everywhere. So when the president says something, it looks like the whole room's standing up. So it's just
that's ridiculous, man. Politicians, they're right up there with actors in my book.
The State of the Union. State of the Union. Yeah, that whole thing. I think the State of the Union is the equivalent of the SAG Awards. And it's just and then the fact that the opposing party has to have their version of the no, I told you so State of the Union afterwards
that kind of bothers me because, the fact that they have it ready already, that's what really bothers me about politics because, every once in a while, you want to go, well, what if it was really good?
Yeah.
What if it was really good? You're basically they are going out and booking airtime to just go and trash something that they just heard. So they're booking the time to trash it before they've even heard it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I really dislike about it. It's you'll never have, everyone says unity within, DC. Not everybody, some people. Yeah. Okay, if you really want to show some unity, stop doing that dumb crap. That instant division. Instantaneous stuff. There's always got to be a rebuttal. It's God, good Lord. When did our politicians start acting like people in a panel on a talking head show, on a cable news program? It's just God, they can't wait. They wake up in the morning and I can't wait to shout you down. That's their whole goal, and then we're gonna go have a scotch after the show. It's just it's God.
Well, that's all it is. I mean, that's all it is an argument now. I mean, that's it. There is no even. They're not even pretending to get along anymore.
No. Maybe we do need a Mars attack situation. Maybe we need a bunch of dudes with green brain heads coming down and vaporizing all of them. Yeah, exactly. So now the supporting a-hole of the year. This is people have been waiting for this for a whole year. I mean, even though I just came up with this idea 2 hours ago. I wish I had an applause button. So the supporting a-hole of the year award goes to, in your opinion, or in your professional voting, Rob.
Michael Moore. Just because that, regardless of whatever, that's just poor taste, and that's. Mm-hmm. The guy is he's a card-carrying NRA member,
yep.
And so it's well known that he just comes out and does that for publicity. He just knows there's more money in it for him to be anti-gun than to be pro-gun out in public, yep. And that just makes him a douchebag.
And then the funny thing is, NRA member, he is a millionaire, multi-millionaire. He owns probably has a very large portfolio, and he overeats. Hello, this guy is a rich guy from the South. There's no difference between him and an old fat guy in Alabama that's wealthy. There's none whatsoever. He is the boss hog of Flint, Michigan.
Yep.
So it's there's no difference to what you're clamoring against. I mean, I really don't see a difference other than maybe hat style,
And a couple of belt sizes.
And a couple of belt sizes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a hypocrite, I mean, that's bugged me. We had our conversation last week. You said, what was it, Michael and Me, or whatever his first.
Yeah, Mike and Me. I think it was Michael and Me.
Yeah, and it really bugged me because that's a good film, and it's just man, where did you go wrong, dude? You could have been a contender.
Yep.
So now the leading role. This is the big one of the night. My personal opinion is Grease Bastard, but that's just I don't have voting rights. So your lead role of the A-hole of the Year award.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, hands down.
And why? I mean, not that you got to beat a dead horse, but
being alive.
somebody looks like it did
Just
that
for
to her.
just for being alive and being a horrible human being. You know, that's one of the things that she said, and I saw a really thing that put it well on Facebook today. You know, 4 Americans dead because she said she didn't have enough money to privately fund security, yet the State Department lost $6 billion while under her watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Somebody's got to pay for those.
What does it matter, Hillary? What does it matter?
Yeah, somebody's got to pay for those goofy glasses she wears.
There you go.
So, and then I got another category. This is just, there's no supporting in this. Our own, just because you know, whatever, we bash people at times, you know, not all the time, but once in a while we do. What is your personal dumb moment of the year? Like that one moment where, and you don't have to get too deep in like your personal life, but just that one moment of like, oh man, I wish I could do that over again.
Huh. You know, it's mine is something that I don't really know if I can talk about.
Yeah, that's why I said mine is the deep personal stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I try to laugh at myself pretty readily. Like I really do. If I do something stupid, I really try to kind of own up to it and say, oh, okay, I was an idiot. Like people really get a kick out of it because if I do something like clumsy, like if I fall over myself or whatever, I will straight up laugh out loud at myself just because I think you got it. You do something stupid, you've got to be able to be the first one to laugh at yourself, or you're taking yourself too seriously. You know, so I don't know. I do a lot of stuff. I'm just, you know, the book is out. I'm happy.
There you
I
go.
can see my kids this weekend, so I try not to look back and be too upset about things that happened in the past.
Well,
So-
I got a dumb moment, and it's not crapping myself. That's this year. That was.
I'd
after
say
the,
that. Oh, that was this year.
That
right
was
there.
after the voting was already finalized. Mine would be not giving myself, and I think this, you know, and it put me back, you know, 3 credit hours, not having enough faith in myself with school. I was really scared, and I just started this new semester this past week, which I love the classes, even the stupid comp and lit class. But not having enough faith in myself or my intelligence, you know, and trying to scale back. Like, you know, I only did 12 credits last semester, and I know I could have easily pulled out another class or 2. So I don't want to, and I doubted myself, and now it's like I have the opportunity to possibly get my associates a semester early if I take a class over this summer, you know, and then a full on semester in the fall.
Right.
I could have skipped a summer class by having a little more faith in myself, and then I'm going to pay out of pocket because I'm not going to use the GI Bill for the summer. So this literally is going to cost me money, you know, because I second guessed myself. So sometimes you shouldn't second guess yourself. Sometimes you should have a little faith in yourself, and I did not. And now it's going to cost me, you know, probably $1,000, you know, for whatever summer class costs or whatever, you know.
That's an expensive lesson to learn.
Yeah, it is. So have faith in yourself, people. And if you don't, have faith in us.
Yeah, there you go. And I think that's as good an idea as any to wrap up on, because I think we're getting. Well, we went over a little bit tonight because I actually had a dumb moment. We went all the way. I'm at Natalie's house in one part of town. I live pretty far away. We go to church where I live. And we went all the way there. One of the things we had to do was pick up my car because I left my car there. And I got there and realized I didn't have my keys. So we're going tonight to go pick up my car and drive it back because I needed to go to the office in the morning. So, you know, I know it's 2015, but we'll still call it dumb because it's a pretty boneheaded thing.
Well, you have fun with your sleepover, my friend. And,
thank you, sir. I will.
We have. Did you hear the music when I played it in the beginning of the show?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so we got that. I think we got the problem. All right, good. That's a good green light. So, folks, we got a guest that's going to be on next week. We got a few guys. Actually, no, next week, no, because next week's the Super Bowl. I'm not going to be able to do a show next week, man.
Yeah, we're not going to do a show next week. I won't be able to either because I'm going to be back too late.
Yeah, I'll be at my best friend's house having a nice little Super Bowl party. A safe one because I got to drive like an hour back home. So,
Jeez.
and no,
Well, you don't drink anyway. Don't eat burgers. Don't eat cheeseburgers.
no, yeah. Oh, damn it! I'm gonna have to prep myself. I'm gonna have to be like a prepper. I'm not going to Super Bowl without wings.
Right.
So in 2 weeks, we're gonna have some guests. We got Matt Best lined up. We're gonna have that Chinese history guy, and we got a few other people. Matt Best is from Article 15 Clothing, and they're releasing their own line of whiskey. So good
awesome.
for those guys. Good for those guys being entrepreneurs, and we're gonna have some guests lined up over the next few weeks. So that'll be good. But
Good.
yeah, so next week we're off for the Super Bowl and other stuff, and yeah, let's end this thing.
All right. Well, that's great, ladies and gentlemen. So again, that has been your 2015 SAG Awards for 2014. So we'll have to have it again next year. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember, if you're picking this up through Vets on Media, you can also join us live. We record every Sunday night via Google Hangouts. Just add Center Mass with Robin Silent J to your Google Plus account, and you'll get included in with our Hangouts. You can follow us taping live, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time every Sunday night. Just join the Hangout. You can submit any questions. You can actually take part in the show and actually play an active role instead of just listening. If you are getting us anywhere else, remember the show is available on vetsonmedia.com/Cinemaster Robin Silent J, iTunes, Podbean, and everywhere else that you find fine podcasts. The Pact will be out soon,
Nice.
so make sure you go check out robertplewis.com, thepactbook.com, tactical16.com, ironmikemag.com, vetsonmedia.com, and every other .com that has anything to do with stuff that we support. If you are an Onnit user, please go check out some Alpha Brain or Onnit or New Mood, and whenever you do, use that checkout code RPL to get yourself 10% off and send a little bit of love our way.
Yep.
Besides that, did I leave anything out?
Real quick, we're doing the Run Ranger Run. So
Right.
Are
We're
you-
doing the
yeah.
Run Ranger Run,
So,
so we'll
yeah.
have more details about that for the next show. I think we'll have to put it up on the website.
yep. So yeah, we'll talk more about that in 2 weeks. We'll be kicking off there. So I think you and I are going to be doing the brunt of the running. I think, my friend.
I think so too. We'll see how that lays out. But that's an excuse. It's a good excuse for me to get my butt running again.
Hell yeah!
So,
I do I do like the equivalent of a couple miles every night anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm good.
There
Let's
you
go.
go.
Let's do this.
Good.
So all right, man. You do your
All
thing.
right.
You
Well,
do
ladies
so
and gentlemen, thanks again for following us. This has been Center Mass with Robin Silent J. I'm Rob.
I am Silent J, and we're
And
gonna end with Dead Boys, but do your thing.
Remember to stay in your ground. Don't fire unless fired upon. But if the meet never war, that'll begin here.
That's right.